Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Mel from City Skin Clinic, and today I thought we could have a little chat about treatments for nose to mouth lines. These are the lines that can appear around here, so starting from the nose and all the way down, and sort of explain what the process behind how they develop and what kind of treatments you can have for them. Before I move on, if you like our content and you'd like to see more of it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Nose to mouth lines, these are folds and really wrinkles that appear just around here. And these lines are completely natural. The reason they appear is as we get a little bit older, the fat in our mid-face and our cheek area, the fat pads get smaller, and that means that there's less to hold the skin up, and so these lines end up appearing, and over time they become more advanced and as folds. When they first start, like all wrinkles and lines, they get worse as you make facial expressions, and then with time they kind of become more prominent, and then at their worst they're just there even when you're not doing anything. They can be a fold, or they can be a line sort of in the skin that's kind of quite deep down. And there are a few different treatments for them that we can explore if they are something that bothers you. So first of all, I want to point out one thing, which is if you have a line or a wrinkle, the best treatment depends on where it is and what will look natural. So if you have a wrinkle on the forehead, for example, then the treatment, and I've mentioned this in a video before, will depend on whether that wrinkle is there all the time or just when you make facial expressions. If it's dynamic, so just when you make a face, when you express yourself, then something like a muscle relaxant like Botox injections will take care of it. If it's incredibly fine as a line, then something like chemical peels, tretinoin will help reduce the appearance of these fine lines and wrinkles, and over time prevent them from developing or getting worse. If it's a really deep fold somewhere that's sort of like the forehead, for example, or around here, then the best treatment, and also around here, then the best treatment is to fill it in with filler. Places like this area, if you have a deep fold and the only thing you do is fill it in with dermal filler, which is a really good treatment, the problem with only filling this area with filler is you end up not addressing the cause, which is the volume loss here. And so you end up with still a shrunken mid-face area, and then this is filled out, and I like to call it, any patients who've been with me in clinic, I think of it as the Homer Simpson effect, which is really just it emphasizes this area. It looks bulky, it doesn't look natural. To be honest, I think it looks worse than having the lines themselves. So our approach to these lines is nearly always using dermal filler, hyaluronic acid dermal fillers, and we use Juvederm fillers in this area, either Juvederm Ultra or Juvederm Volift or Juvederm Voluma, just depending on what the problem is. And sometimes we'll use something like Belotero. It just depends on what the expression is, and if you guys like and you would like me to, I can do some videos on the individual types of dermal fillers that we use in our clinic and that are most commonly used, and a little bit about the difference between them. So our approach to this area is firstly to restore some of this volume and just provide a bit more lift, and usually a lot of the time when you have mild to moderate lines, that is in itself enough to soften this area and completely give you a really nice improved effect. For more severe lines that are a little bit more prominent, we kind of restore the volume here and perhaps around here just to lift this area. And with that, that softens the lines, and then we may directly, for some of the more the stubborn leftover lines, just do a little bit of softening of with a bit of filler here. The idea is not to have a line of filler to have that blocky effect, but it's just to soften it and to enhance the main effect, the heavy lifting, which is done by this area here. This works really beautifully, and I'm kind of been putting up some examples of this work. But most important, it's a really natural looking effect. It gives a nice bit of balance, and the nice thing is when you put fillers around here and lift it up, it's not that you're enhancing the volume or augmenting this area, it's just you're restoring what was lost. So already the mid face and the lower face look more lifted, they look a little bit more youthful, but very much you. There are people that will use Botox in this area. I don't really do that in our clinic for nose to mouth lines. One, it's not really addressing the effect of the wrinkles here, is because of the volume loss here. So I don't think it's an effective treatment. And the other one is there are so many important muscles in this area that if you hit the wrong ones or the Botox migrates a little bit, you might affect the symmetry of someone's smile. So I don't particularly think it's a good treatment. Other treatments that people use that we don't use in our clinic are things like threads, video threads. And again, I'm not so convinced of the value in them. I think the best results address the cause of the problem. And I think with threads, you're just pulling backwards in this area, you're kind of just getting that stretched effect. But actually, in my opinion anyway, the best result is restoring lost volume and softening this area, and you get just a really nice natural treatment. Of course, in really very severe cases, if someone's quite advanced in age and there's a lot of volume loss, then maybe considering things like surgical fat grafting, where they take fat from one part of the body and put it up there, usually combined with a facelift, a lower face or a mid facelift, or a complete one. So fillers for a lot of people work great, but in some cases where it's just really extensive face volume loss and aging skin, fillers will help. But if you're looking for a completely just kind of eradication of these lines and a whole kind of new, very new refreshed look, then you might need to consider a surgical approach. All of these treatments are great, but as I always say, the envelope always really matters. So whether you go for Botox and fillers, or whether you go for surgery or a combination of these things, you really need to make sure that you're taking care of your skin. That means wearing SPF regularly. It means making sure that you're doing things like using retinol or a retinoid. You have a good daily skincare routine, just to make sure that your skin is also at its best, and it really will massively enhance the effects of these treatments. I have left some links below for a bit more information about dermal fillers and a little bit more about our nose to mouth lines treatment. And please feel free to leave questions below or comments. I'll answer every single one of them. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.